Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. I want to start with this idea of self-isolation, which is being recommended worldwide as a means of containing the spread of the virus. Releasing prisoners may seem counterintuitive. How do you see the release of prisoners limiting that spread?
Firstly, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to be here today. This is not Europe. We're living in Africa. And our prisons are already completely overcrowded. We've got 160,000 prisoners living in conditions that are designed for 120,000 people. Of those 160,000 people, the majority of them are actually sort of soft criminals like fraud, housebreaking. They're not violent crimes. And as much as we might all not like the idea of prisoners being released, a prison is a tinderbox. People are living in such close proximity. There is limited sanitation and hygiene. As far as I understand it, the Correctional Services Department struggles to even get people with TB and HIV their meds. So to try and treat people with coronavirus is going to be virtually impossible. So we believe that it is one of the essential things as part of a lockdown and dealing with coronavirus in South Africa.
So on the flip side, you've got to balance that very relative view with the possibility of that increasing to what could possibly be mayhem outside of prisons. If the coronavirus heads along the trajectory it has in Europe, and that, yes, we have to allow for the fact that we are not living in Europe. But if things do get really bad here, we're going to struggle with basic things like law and order. That's a possibility we have to consider going forward. How do you think releasing prisoners would possibly contribute to that problem?
I don't think that I think that you're focusing purely on releasing prisoners. Releasing prisoners is one part of the multi-pronged strategy that we have. We are essentially calling for a lockdown. There must be immediate travel bans, and the releasing of prisoners is just a part of that. The longer we wait, every day, the chances of the disease spreading increase by about 40%. Every single day that we wait. We're now waiting again for the government to have some kind of indaba tomorrow. We need action today. And I think that if everything is managed correctly, I think law and order is going to be the least of our problems. We might be, the things that we are suggesting might be quite, getting people feeling panicky because it's upending our lives as we know it completely. But that panic is going to be nothing in comparison to the panic that we're going to be dealing with down the line if we don't start taking drastic decisions. At this time, we need our leadership to be brave and bold and to make decisions that maybe people don't like, but it will be beneficial to the collective rather than the individuals.
Your call for a ban on international and local travel has been echoed by many South Africans in recent days, yet the government saying it's still too soon to effect such a ban. What is your response to that?
My response to everybody in government, and I'm not just talking about the ANC, I'm talking about the ANC, the DA, the EFF, the leaders that are supposedly guiding us. The fact that they haven't made any decisions is indicative of self-interest, because yes, it is going to be an economic strain, and yes, it is going to be very difficult. But if we don't make a decision right now, today, we're going to be sitting with a huge problem down the line. So I think that they are biding their time. They're trying not to cause panic. So I think that there's fear of panic, and it's fear of the economic impact. And we actually just have to embrace that and deal with it as it arises, because the more we delay because we're worried about what South Africans are going to do and how they're going to respond to prisoners being released and how they're going to respond to having to shut down their restaurants or their businesses, that is going to be mild in comparison to the overloading of our resources down the line because we haven't made any decisive decisions that are beneficial to the people and not our profits.
I've got one last quick question for you. Another prong of that plan that you've set forth is a ban on the import and export of goods. Surely that would have dire economic impact.
Yes, it would. Everything. The coronavirus is going to have a dire economic impact. It's the same as everybody will probably get coronavirus. These are realities that we have to face. So now what we need to do is we need every single form of leadership, from the head of a household to the head of a community to the head of our country, to start making decisions that will assist us and make things easier. We need to start thinking out of the box of how things are going to be financed. And we've got many solutions, many very pragmatic and practical solutions on how to assist South Africans cope with this.
Right, thank you very much. We have run out of time. That was Vanessa Swanepoel from the Land Party discussing their strategy on the coronavirus. Continuing our coverage there.